Now let's see. This is going to be a wall for laundry. There'll be a washer, stackable washer and dryer in this location. Used to be a shower, and now it's going to be a stackable washer and dryer. I still have to put a vent system in here and a light for this little room. That'll be easy. I've done a little bit of rewiring, as you might have noticed. Even Oscar the plumber, he told me, he says, hey, you did a good job on that.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
You didn't show him that over there, though.
No, he saw it, but he probably
Didn't see the blobs.
I'll take my grinder and grind the blobs off.
Now what's going on in here?
Okay, redoing the closets, repainting the doors, repainting all the upper cabinet doors. Gonna put a computer workstation in there, and it's kind of hard to tell, but I've replaced this whole corner of flooring. The flooring cost me $300. The shipping was $200 from the East Coast. The guy that I bought the wood from told me, to his knowledge, this is the only mill in the United States that still mills wood to the size I needed. And when I ordered it, he said, well, it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before we can give you the wood, because it has to be cured and milled. I said, time isn't a big issue. I said, whenever it's done, ship it. So.
Oh, so they probably kiln dry it so it's not going to warp.
Yeah, it's not going to warp. And the stuff, like I said, you can see the old, hey, move. You're standing where, you can see where I tied in, there's old, new,
yeah.
Old, new.
You won't even be able to tell when you put your...
Once it's stained,
stain.
And I've got to rent a commercial sander to sand all the floors in the house. And once that's done, then I'll go in and stain it. And I told the guy, I sent him an email, and I told him, I said, the wood's beautiful. I said, there's a slight difference in coloration between what I have, which is 70 years old, and what I bought from you. He said, well, he said, you're going to notice a difference. He said, because of the source of the wood and the age of the wood. He said, over time it darkens. He said, but you're not going to notice it. So.
The tile and the grout's done in here.
And I can't do it in here until I finish the little hot water heater area and bathroom. When I finish the flooring in there, then this will all get grouted. I haven't put the toe kicks in for the cabinets yet because, again, have to get the grouting in. And we also have crown molding to go up on all the cabinets.
Oh, that's right.
But Eric's got a fixture for that, so he'll be bringing that down one of these days and helping me. He told me, he said, well, whenever he gets time. But right now, he's got his projects. So.
Now, have you got the stove to go in there?
I don't have one yet, and I'm not sure that Fabi keeps telling me no. We're going to buy a new washer and dryer, but she doesn't want to put a stove in yet. So because I would like to put a microwave and the stove in.
Have you got a gas line over here? So it's got to be a gas stove, not electric then.
That used to be a 220 outlet, and I removed it and rewired it for 110.
So it used to be electric in here.
Yeah. And 99% of the people that I know do not like electric stoves.
No, gas is preferred by most professional chefs.
And you've got control over the heat.
Right.
And it's instantaneous control as opposed to electric.
That's right.
So, as opposed to what other kind of spirits?
Distilled spirits. Good thing you can't drink that.
Yeah. Okay, this is where the new hot water tank is going to go. I was going to put a tankless system in here, but when I talked to a guy at the Redlands plumbing store, he says, absolutely not. He said, number one, he said, code requires you to use stainless steel venting. He said, and I don't know whether you've ever bought stainless steel venting. He said, but it's not cheap. Well, the guy across the street told me the couplings are $500 a piece. He says, you'd have been spending about $5 grand. I said, well, that's
why Mike's unit is hanging outside on the wall, no venting required.
Yeah, well, that's what he told me, my plumber neighbor.
Yeah.
He told me, he says, I never install interior. He said, they're all outside.
Outside.
Yeah. And he was over here looking at, he says, oh, he says, wow, he says, you did a nice job. He says, most people who are refurbishing houses, they don't care. They just throw something together. I said, well, I said, when I put a hot water heater on here, I said, it's not going anywhere. I said, this is substantial enough. What they had before was 1x2.
Yeah. Well, you need to earthquake brace that, and so you got some plastering work to do there too.
Well, yeah, well, this whole area here, this was all open, where they blew it out to bring the plumbing through, and I plastered that. I still have to, you know, fine sand it and finish it, and I've got the plumbing down there to finish, but it's coming along. All the cedar that wrapped around there, but when I looked on the internet on how to put drywall on curved walls, you have to wet the stuff.
Yeah, just like wood.
Yeah. And then I bought some trim moldings at Home Depot or at Lowe's, only to discover that they were jointed.
After the fact, after you bend it, yeah.
Yeah. So
well, you can sand that down and paint it, and you won't even see it.
Well, I'm going to rip this off. I'm going to put MDF up there.
Oh, okay.
And because this wasn't very expensive, and the MDF I'm buying all the trim. I'm going to put crown molding around the top of this room. And when I went to this Peterman Lumber, they sell flexible crown molding. It's $8 a foot. And the guy, one of the owners of the company, when I told him what I was doing, he says, well, why don't you use MDF? I said, well, I've got a room. I said, it's got about a 7-foot radius. He says, MDF is like bubble gum. He said, it'll bend. He says, trust me. He said, it will wrap around that. So, and he said, you're looking at, you know, around $1 a foot. Stinky, come on, goodies, come on. Can you dance? Can you do the jig? Huh? Can you do the jig? Come on.
No, it looks nice.
But I don't know whether you remember when the stone, when you saw it before.
Yes.
Put that. And Fabi doesn't like the white, but I like the white, the stark white.
Yeah.
And
makes the room look bigger.
Her daughter-in-law told her, no, leave it white. And then the tile around here, when I added that, I mean, it just kind of set it
You could
off.
always put tile insets in there if you want to do the same color,
right,
you know, for a color contrast. But no, it looks great.
Yeah.
Looks nice. Tile work is fantastic.